Go Loud presents the Talking Bollox podcast.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your weight in it now. Tell your body okay. Walk it hard and long. When you finish that,
The hip knocker.
go down, go down, go down. Come up, come up, come up, come up.
Boom! Episode 61, the Talking Bollox podcast, brought to you by Go Loud, the home of Irish podcast. It's me, Jerry Flower. It's me, C.O.B.
You have one job, boys. Get the fuck. One job.
Oh,
Bollox.
it's harder than what you
Isn't it?
Fuck that, boys.
Right.
think. Right, boom, episode 61. Right, episode 61, the Talking Bollox podcast, brought to you by Go Loud, the home of Irish podcast. It's me, Terry Flower.
It's me, COB.
And this week we're joined by, start with you, left
Abby
or right?
Penis. Jerry Penis.
Right, valid point.
Right, so if anyone who's watching this on YouTube, don't adjust our internet, it's not lagging. There is two of them, it's not just one stuttering, yeah? So this week we're joined by Terence's twin brothers, Gavin and Gerard. How are you, boys?
Oh, good, pal. Oh, good.
Shitting.
Will you sit into that mic, you take your up
I'm
history?
shitting.
Just put your seat in closer, put your seat in. Are you nervous now?
Boys, I'm shitting.
Gav, you
I
are
was
all-
fresh there beforehand. Now I'm
It's,
shitting.
it's easier than it looks, isn't it?
And
Oh,
that's
wait,
nose
it's
in the
harder than it
cameras
looks,
now.
I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I hate when people play it down? So all you do is go into talk and say, you go in. As soon as you go 5-4, you start going, why? It's
My
tough.
heart is
The red light goes on the door outside and all, boys, so everyone knows I'm recording, not to come in. I swear to
big
God.
business. Gavin's
Proper
taking a
pros,
panic
boys.
attack.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a deep bib in there.
Jeez, you want the yellows there for him?
He forgot his
It's still
inhaler.
win one out, yeah, guys.
Right, and anyway, so the boys have one of the most requested guests, especially in the last few weeks. You must have been putting people onto us or something, boys. Ways a lot of people are saying get you on.
No chance. I didn't even want to come on, boys. I am breaking it.
Kick us off, Terry.
Right, I'm going to kick us off, boys. Yeah, singers from last week, right? Do the yoke. Piggy yoke again.
Yeah, so this little piggy went to the market, you know it? This little piggy sat at home. The next little piggy,
The roast, I said, is it?
roast beef,
Roast beef.
I would have said bread and jam, but
bread and jam. So this, I say bread and butter, yeah? And someone said to us, is it bread and butter or roast beef? So we put that one out, and then everyone goes, no, it's bread and jam. So we go, right, roast beef or
Roast
bread
beef
and jam.
won it against bread and butter, yeah.
And how many bleeding fucking people come back this week and said it's bread and butter?
Come
Where
out
were
the
you
cracks in
last
the
week?
walls, yeah.
The bread and butter brigade. Do you know what I mean?
But anyways, this week again, yeah, boys, roast beef's had to win again, yeah? 61% this time, yeah? The 39, right? Next singer. Would you rather do that one again, you know?
Would you rather have your internet search history leaked or your camera roll leaked?
Look at you, pal, watching all sorts of bondage on the board. Look at
I'd
it.
rather have my camera roll leaked.
Yeah, the background casting couch fella.
Yeah, fuck that.
yeah, have my camera
The
roll.
fake
Yeah,
taxi fella.
Really, boys? Would you? Yeah.
There's nothing in my camera roll.
You must be looking at some dodgy shit.
Ah, hell.
Yeah, I went through me.
Up the no good.
I went through me search history the other day. It's just me trying to spell words. You know a word that I can't spell? I type it in on Google
That's
and Google
like
corrects
me,
it.
or looking up the age of a footballer or something.
Yeah,
he
something
can't be
stupid.
only that age, you know. But
Do you know Vardy's older than Cavani?
see, do you know what I mean? That's mad, boys. I'd have to look that up to confirm that. Do you know what I
It's a
mean?
true story.
You're like my own real life Google.
Yeah,
though.
you know, ask me
Any
Ann.
problems I have,
Ask me
Calvin
Ann.
hates me. I'll just ring Calvin.
Yeah.
Fuck Google. I'll ring Calvin.
Bro, what's the weather like? And he'd just be outside.
Gav, you'll give me a bit of anxiety. Will you just
I
put
am
it?
shitting.
Yeah, big grand. Jenny Kane, shout out to Jenny for this one, yeah? Did you any of us listen to last week's
Listen
one?
to last week's
I
episode.
Listen to it,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
must have had a
watch
good
it.
Valentine's Day, so did you?
We will go down, right, yeah?
Clattered the dust off our hips. Would you rather have sex in a fiesta or a naughty TT?
Ah, fiesta all day, isn't it?
It's big of
All
us.
day.
Yeah, it's not
I
what
haven't got a clue the difference between them, but I'm gonna go with the Audi. Sounds like a better car.
So, that's last week's singers.
You didn't give us the percentages, bro.
Did I not? Did I not do the other one either? 57% of that the search history be leaked. 43 camera roll, yeah? And then 51 to 49. 51 for the Fiesta.
Really?
You better
Yeah.
believe
Fiesta
it.
for the win.
Oh!
That was close.
That was close.
Right, boys. Have you got singers, yeah?
I've a
I'll
couple.
go with mine because mine kind of relates to last week. So I'm robbing Jenny Kane's on last week. So she texts us on Sunday when we put the singers out. And she says, I have a new singer, which is a week too late because our episode was already done. And she said, would you rather have sex in a car or sex on the beach? And I don't mean the cocktail.
On the beach, isn't it?
Therefore on the beach.
Yeah,
On the
boy, it's
beach,
not enough
innit?
room in a car.
Playing brutal.
Door.
Very limited in a car, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
fuck
limited in a car.
100% on the beach.
But what if you get sand up a hole on the beach?
Grant that's all problem, isn't
Yeah,
it?
sandy bones, you know what I mean?
that.
Sandy cheeks.
Right.
No.
That's a good singer.
Yeah,
That
what are
is
you
a good
picking?
thing.
We're
In the
all
car?
beach. We're all beach.
All beach, we're all beach,
I think
yeah.
beach will win that.
Yeah,
Hand.
beach, right.
Right.
Jay, you have a singer?
Right. Would you rather train cardio in warm weather or cold weather?
See, I was with Jay. Jay's asked me Jay this week, she is, yeah? And
That'd
when,
be-
any time we're out with each other and he says it and we're with the boys, I think most of the boys say warm weather. I'd be a cold weather man.
I'm a cold weather fella as well, yeah.
Definitely cold weather. Has
Yeah.
to be, yeah.
Come cold weather,
You
myself.
warm up then, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
100%. 100%.
100%.
Gav, singer.
So mine was a kind of a funny one, yeah.
Talk. No, put your mic in front. of you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So mine's kind of a funny one, yeah. So it's, would you rather have 2 really bad calves licks, or would you rather have drive-ins where the calves licks would be?
Good shout, boys.
There's a decent singer. I don't know. Why is everyone looking at me? You look shit
Because
now.
we're going left to right, bro.
Left and right.
Right, yeah. I'd rather have drive-ins, boys.
Would you?
Yeah. They can't, 2 bad calves, you can't do anything, boys.
Ah, you get something sorted, bro. I'd rather have the calves licks, yeah. I used to have a calves licks and I don't have one anymore. I used to be there.
No, bad ones, Cal.
I know, bro, but you
Bad
eventually...
ones.
So you'd rather have no hair than like epoxy hair?
No, you
I'm
can
not
have her. Look, Charlie Adams sitting here, it would be.
Bro, with a horseshoe on your head?
Yeah, fresh.
No, not that bad, boys, but you know, like going back a little bit, you know, but not very
Receding
bad.
yokes.
Yeah,
Car
receding,
parks,
yeah.
No, bro, can't be at that. And generally don't get people who have them at, like, don't matter what age you have them at, yeah? Shave your head. If you're losing your hair, just accept it, it's going, get rid of it.
Sometimes the cars
Yeah, but
are
it's
alright. Sometimes
It's
they're alright.
hard, bro. Some people like their hair, you know.
Yeah, but it looks poxy. You know what I mean? You're clinging on. It gets a bit pathetic, mate. I don't care if you're only 29. Get rid of it, bro. Embrace it. Do you know what I mean? Me dad did it. Me dad did it about bleeding 20 years ago. He was going balls, so he goes, right, I'm getting rid of it. And he was right.
Oh, stop, break your
Oh,
heart. doesn't it?
Brennan.
Oh,
Brennan.
Brennan, he had a full head of hair when we came into this.
Do you know what I
building.
mean? When we episode 29, the day we met him to sign the contract, he had a mop of ginger hair. Episode 29, he had no hair.
That's the stress he used to.
That's what it was.
Snooker ball head. Right, Zingo's boxed off, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that's flat. Oh, wait, what would you rather?
What?
Drive-ins or calves licks?
Calves licks.
Yeah?
I go with the old calves licks, yeah.
Right. Boom.
One or two suggestions, yeah. So, someone asked us, is there any guests that you'd never have back on?
Controversial.
Yeah, these still beside me.
Yeah, no.
Sound. Alright, we wrap this one up then, yeah. No, hang on, there was another one or two there.
Yeah.
Did I not?
You went into them.
I thought I said it to you a minute ago, no?
Lads, what was your favourite episode?
Well, me first, mine is Brian Penny's.
Brian Penny's joke?
Brian Penny, isn't it?
Yeah, Brian Penny, yeah.
His
his episode. Like that one.
honestly, I really liked it.
Yeah.
Three of them. Ger Redmond's one, Willie White and Roddy Doyle's. Love three of them.
Which Willie White one?
His first one.
First one was unbelievable.
Second one was brilliant as
Yeah.
well. Willie White, some story, what a
Yeah.
man.
He's the
Just
goat, isn't he?
hilarious, honestly.
Yeah.
What a bloke.
No, the number 2 one is where he's talking about on the cobblestones getting chased by
Yeah.
a man.
Yeah.
They're both
That's
brilliant.
unbeatable. that.
Well, it's the
Right.
first one, the stories he goes into in the first one about when he was in England and all. Like,
Ah,
But that's a
heavy.
journey.
What a
Yeah.
story, like.
Boys, heavy. And you'd never think about him now when you see him.
No.
But like the stuff, jeez.
Boys, he's mad, he is out straight.
someone said, will I be offering advice on how to bunk into the live show? You were only asking me.
Yeah, I
Gav.
didn't get to take I'm bunking in.
He's more than welcome to try and bunk in. I couldn't give a bollocks, but the live show was sold out anyways. We sold out there last week.
Bollocks, we didn't even talk about this, did
Yeah,
we?
we're talking about
yeah,
it
we're
now.
not selling out live show. That's mad, isn't it, boys? What the
Man.
fuck?
Boys, on
Neither of us can sing. Neither of us tell any jokes.
We've no talent.
No
Shoulda
guests
booked
announced.
the old
And we're
hill,
sold out.
boys. Out straight, I'm
Shoulda
saying
booked-
it.
The amount of people starting on us as well, like, give us a break. People text me and go, I use for real, I didn't get me ticket, just do the 3 arena. Like as if we can just go, yeah, no, but we got the 400 seats, the 13,000, love.
You probably could sell her out,
And you
lads,
probably
out
would
straight.
sell it. Like, people selling them on Dundee and all for $4,000.
Someone said, did you see what Kanye West was up to on Instagram the last few days?
Boys, that's a hard watch for me.
It is.
Look, I think, I see the funny side of it, it's hilarious, but boys, that man's going through a mental breakdown.
No, he is. And do you know what? A few weeks ago when he was running up stuff about not being able to see his kids and all, I was able to relate to him. I was like, I get what you're going through as a dad, you know what I mean? Not being able to see your kids, like the worst thing ever. But now what he's at the doing, it's like, do you ever see one of them fellas on Facebook who breaks up with the ma and he never has the kids, and then when he does have the kids, he'll just be posting them doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, I had my kid in Smiths today. The child doesn't give a bollocks. Like, he had his kids at the Super Bowl, and the two of them are sitting there miserable. Like, they don't want to be there. He's there with a balaclava and all on. Do you know what I mean?
And his seat's worth 50 grand.
Yeah, and the kids don't even
Some
want to
man.
be there, but like, it is tough. I agree with what you're saying. Like, some of the stuff is funny, and I think he plays up to it a bit. And then some of the other stuff, like sending screenshots in or his board, this will be messaging him and all.
Yeah,
it's
look,
hard
he got
watch.
divorced for a reason. He should just move on.
Yeah, it's obviously easier said than done, but like,
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be with you, pal.
Yeah, no, he already had issues anyways going into that relationship. You know what I mean? So,
Needs to get a bit of help. That's what he needs.
Yeah.
Has the money there as well to do it, so.
yeah, well, hopefully he does. Hopefully
Yeah,
he does.
definitely, yeah.
Suggestions boxed off,
What's
really,
up?
does.
Man, let's just want to talk about, boys. Just throw it out there.
Ah, you know, the two boys, right, Gavin Power full of energy.
Wax
You
out.
want to see us before these cameras start
Yeah,
off?
boy.
Full of energy. Shaking us.
Actually, we have got something. Me fucking cup is gone again.
Yes.
Me fucking cup, look what I'm drinking of. We got it back. How long ago? 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Came in today, opened the press, cup gone. Someone's playing mind games with us in here.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. I set it up, I did, yeah. I was jealous.
Did you?
No, money missing.
Was good.
Boys, what's the story with that, though?
That's why we
don't
brought
know.
you over. So after this,
Muscle is here, boys.
after
We'll have
this,
a
right,
strainer.
we go downstairs, you go in, Gav,
Yeah.
wreck the kip, Jerry keeps sketch, and somebody be like, I seen a fella wrecking the place, and then everyone be like, bro, I seen him standing at the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they won't know who to go for.
Listen.
Yeah, I'm about wearing my tops. You know
You know what I mean?
what I mean, boys? I don't mind. I'll do the time.
Honestly, though, bring me fucking cup back. Genuinely, yeah?
Everyone was slagging me last week over my mug gone missing, and Terence was happy as Larry. Now look at you. It's not nice.
No, it's not fucking nice.
I
We'll
want,
smash the place.
our mugs back, yeah?
Do you never get your mug back?
Never,
now?
bro.
Never got it back. Things gone 6 months.
Boys, these are making a fool out of using it.
Andy.
Wrap this thing up now.
I know. The first mug I see with Pat Kenny on it, I'm taking it. And I'm bringing it to me gaff.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Worth a few bob.
Yeah.
Get me one.
Right. I think that's all the suggestions, yeah?
Right.
Into the two boys. Into the two boys.
Boys, who's older?
I'm the older one, yeah. Half an hour.
Half an hour? What happened to you? Did you forget to come out? What happened?
That's
in there
good
doing your
timing for
hair?
twins, I think, now.
Yeah, some twins can be hours in the difference, I think.
He's even twins at that stage. He's just your little brother.
Yeah, that's the little brother there.
That's not even a twin.
I'm the middle child now. what?
Basically, yeah. What's the story? Half an hour.
That's the rage.
He's
of
probably
it.
have different birthdays then.
You know that can happen.
Oh, now it can happen.
That's
yeah,
mad. Like in different years.
Yeah, it could, yeah.
That's mad.
Be a mad one, wouldn't it?
Isn't it? But it can happen.
Yeah, right, Jerry, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah. Well,
So,
You can speak on behalf of your little brother if you want.
I'll speak on behalf of him if you want.
Yeah.
Gavin fella was so high energy, was. And I was like, oh, I'm wax-white, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
look, I'm not- That's
the
why he used to be
cameras
like-
for the first time, and I'm not being looking at them for again.
Terence was like that for the first, say, 5 or 6 episodes, wasn't you?
More
First
than that.
15.
First 15.
You're
Boys,
not
it was
used to it. It's a bit.
Oh, gee, it takes it back, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it
all
does,
this.
yeah.
Look at the cameras now. Oh, they'll be waxing.
You get some colour coming off this as well. Them lights
Oh,
on
some
there.
paint
My
that
God,
band.
boys.
But, yeah, so, Jay, what we do with every guest is, yeah, just what's your name, where are you from, and what was life like growing up?
My name is Ger Power and I'm from Dorsey Street Flats.
And what was life like growing up?
Yeah, life was okay growing up. Well, from the early years was alright growing up. Just like any normal kid growing up in the flats, we didn't have a lot, but we had enough. Yeah, like if I'll let him touch on a bit there if he wants. You know, I don't want to go too far ahead because we kind of came up together.
Yeah.
So
But just the Hillies, was that, yeah? Just the Hillies, right, grand, yeah. We come up together, well, grand, no bother.
Yeah, so I kind of touch on, yeah, like we grew up in the flats there and just a good sense of community, you know yourself, Terence, it was playing, it was great, like all your mates hanging around playing football all day, you know, not like they
different,
are today. Do you know what I
different
mean?
to
Like,
today. Like,
yeah, like you never really see kids out playing anymore, do you? Like, off
or even acting that bollocks,
Yeah,
or just,
innit, like-
you know what I mean, getting up to no good, having a bit of laugh, like
Yeah.
nothing malicious in it. You don't really see it anymore. Where years ago, even, do you remember the flats years ago when even any summer's day would walk through, everyone's out on that balconies, all the young ones sitting around having their cans, the
Right,
kids
yeah.
are out playing football. It was just lethal.
Yeah, you used to go out at like 8 in the morning, all the
You wouldn't
boys
be coming
playing
back.
football, and then you'd be going home at about 11 o'clock still playing heads and footies, wouldn't you? Like,
Yeah.
mad screaming to get you
Yeah.
up into the gaff, like, but
Boys, there was no more years ago when you heard, like, you went out somewhere and you went, like, you left the flats, and then when you came back and someone goes, your man's at me and calling that, you were like, bollocks.
Yeah, I never gave a rat's. I was out morning, noon and night hustling.
Me man be screaming for Terence and all the old like umplets in the flats be chasing him all over the place. He wouldn't go in.
I refused to when I'm out with the boys, cause you know yourself, I'm still like that now.
Still like that now, yeah.
Sober and all, and
Yeah,
still
I'm not
refused
fucking
to go. Going on to my own, gaff, I'm not going back, fuck it.
So, you remember, how long's in between the three years?
2 years, yeah.
2
Do
years,
you
yeah.
remember before Terence came along? No, I was
Jeez,
too
no.
young, yeah. So, just as far as you can remember, it's just always been the 3 years.
Always been 3 years.
Yeah. So, what was it like? Do you remember, and I know we touched on this.
You obviously had me man on.
Yeah,
And I know him here.
Yeah. And your man's episode was very good because she was able to like give in detailed stuff about. Like, I don't want to dive in straight away, but what happened the night when your dad died.
Yeah.
And your ma was able to say this is what happened, blah blah blah, and then it was good to hear your side of that
Yeah.
and what you remember. You know, like that. Do you remember that night?
I remember it crystal clear. Like, it was 2 days before Christmas, 2003. So Jesus, we were only about 9. We were,
It's just saying.
and yeah, like it was just. Do you know what it was? There was a school party. Do you know the way just before you wrap up the Christmas?
Yeah.
You have a little party there in the
Yeah, yeah.
school and all. So Terence was meant to be staying in the Gap as well that night. What happened was we all went down, and for some strange reason, Terence was like just kind of acting up. He didn't want to spend the night. I'm correctly saying that,
which
haven't
was mad as well,
Yeah,
because
'cause-
Terence was clung to
Yeah.
my dad's hip. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like glue, like.
You're named after you, that.
Yeah, I'm named after me dad, yeah. And yeah, just that night, fucking, yeah, obviously, whatever happened to him, like, fucking, obviously tragic. Like, me and Gav obviously found that dead. So, yeah, just something that always sticks with you, isn't it, like? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it was because it was mad hearing from your side. Yeah, you were like, oh, I don't know what it was. I just didn't want to stay that day. And then your ma been like, something weird happened, Terence, because you always did. And you were like, I don't know, I just didn't want it. And she was like, no,
That was the
you
only
kicked up.
time that I
Yeah.
ever didn't.
it's crazy, like, it's
Yeah.
mad, like,
Mm.
because he was obsessed with him, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and my dad was obsessed with Terence as well, so I can remember my mum was saying, like, go on, son, I'll see you later. There was the three of us, we were outside Anne Kenny's gaff, is it?
Yeah. No,
And Scully, sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. And we were all just getting ready to go to the flat, and Terence was just screaming and crying, like, I don't want to go, ma. Don't want to go.
That's mad.
Yeah,
It's mad,
weird,
like,
isn't it?
is mad,
And the
yeah.
night that was in it, you know, was last night as well, you know, like,
Yeah.
I can only imagine if he did stay, you know, things
Yeah.
probably would have been different, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like,
These things happen.
they happen, yeah.
it,
That's
it
it.
is a weird one. But then what happened? So, growing up, did you all go to the same school?
Same school, yeah.
Same primary, same secondary?
Same primary, same secondary.
Well, you're in the same secondary for about a week
Yeah,
before you got
this
fucked
fella
out.
couldn't
school
keep
for
him in
about
school
5
and
days,
heading
it
it.
was.
Yeah. What school were you in, boys?
In St. Peter's there in Fisbray, and then we obviously went to secondary school there in Vincent's up in Glasnevin.
Yeah.
So yeah, school was good, like.
What was it like in primary school for you?
Yeah.
How were you in school and stuff?
Did you just enjoy it? Like,
Yeah, I loved school. Kind of got on. Well, I wasn't great. wasn't very smart or anything. Like Terence and Gavin, they were honest to God, like two of them, like brain boxes out straight. Like me compared to the.
Are you sure you're on about the same Terence?
Oh, I'm telling you. Do you see this? Do you know what? I bring it back to when we were kids, when my dad was alive and my mum and my dad were together. You want to see this, right? My dad would have his mates in the gaff, and there'd be a few there. And he'd have Terence sitting there, and even Gav at that, right? And he'd be like, spell this out, like kids shouldn't be spelling these words out. Like I couldn't even say the words that my dad had. This fella could spell anything, like what was it, Czechoslovakia, all these words. This fella could spell them off like that. It was just mental.
He used to do that to me as well. Shout out to the Braddock, the youth club we used to be in, because Pauline out there used to always do it, and I used to be so embarrassed by it. So I wanted to be that little like that bold kid,
Yeah,
get me? Like,
yeah.
I didn't want to be known, like, I didn't want anybody to be like, oh, he's smart, and she used to always, come in here, she'd bring me into all the youth workers, she'd be like, wait till you see what he can do, spell this, and I'd be standing up there, all right, boom, 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 fucking easy, you know what I mean? But she was doing with numbers as well.
Yeah.
Just
Very good with numbers though. We were out swimming last week, and he says, "Do you ever like play games with yourself when it comes to numbers?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do, but I never do it the way he did it." He says, "You know, when a car's driving towards you, if you multiply every number on the reg, and you have to get it right before the car gets past you,
Yeah.
you know, like that. So if your car regs, I don't know, it was like 0, 8, D, and then it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you multiply 0 by 8, by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4.
I do that every single day. But I
Before
think
the
that's
car
me-
gets past
You're
you.
I think that's me ADHD,
Yeah.
boys. Because say if I'm walking down the road, I need to be thinking of something or doing something. So every time I'm walking down the road, if I'm on my own or anything like that, I just see a car coming up and I'll just try and multiply them before it's gone. And if I don't get it, boys, it beats me up now.
I do that when I'm running. I'd be doing the maths in my head for like running at speeds and all.
Yeah.
And it helps me, do you know, when you're thinking about it and the next while you're at the clocking up another kilometre there or whatever,
yeah,
it
yeah.
helps you get past it.
It does, yeah.
I think a lot of people do that when they're running though, don't they? Like,
Do you ever do that when you're running? You're like, I have to get to that pole before
Or
that
I'm
car
gonna
does.
do
Or
it.
I'm going to do it. And you're sprinting.
every time, boys. I swear.
Boys, yeah, that's mad because we all do that type of thing.
Whereas I do look and I'd be like, say I'm on like 4.8k, I'm like, right, I have to get to 5k before a car gets past me, and I don't know if there's any cars behind me, so I just open up and I hope there's no cars behind me. Car turns the corner, overtakes me, I'm dead. Good luck.
But yeah, back to school. What was school like for you? Yeah, so you were saying you're not weren't academically great. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
Do
like,
you
I
like
wouldn't
that, bro?
You know what the word is? That's another thing. I was only messing saying that he's a stupid cunt. See him, he is one of the smartest people I've ever met as well.
I
But
use that word.
I think he wants people to think he's a stupid cunt, so they just don't ask him, man. I think he's just lazy.
Yeah.
Go away and
Mate.
murder, don't they?
Yeah. Like, he knows all the stuff and he's able to count like that and all, but just don't ask him to do it because people assume he can't. So he's just like, yeah, sound, I'll get away with it. Do you ever play darts for him? What triple A then?
54.
See what I mean?
What was you were saying you weren't academically great in school, but like
Yeah.
what was it like for you then going through school? Like was you ever in trouble or anything like that?
No, never in trouble. Never in trouble. Kind of got on well in school, like, but obviously, kind of the way we were brought up, my ma touched on it in her episodes, and you touched on it in yours as well, Terence, that like we kind of had a hard at a certain stage of our life that like school, there was a lot of blatant distractions for us. Say, that's all I can really say. Like, you know, maybe I don't know, like.
That's something what like Lim Lewan talks about a lot. And she spoke about it on the Tommy Terence show was like how kids in working class areas or areas of poverty, the least worry for a parent is actually just getting them into school. They don't care about what grades or anything that they're getting in school and like that. Just once they're going to school, and that kid is going to school with a baggage of trauma. They're probably seeing like domestic violence in the home. They're probably seeing all these things, and they don't have a lot growing up. So like a kid just getting to school and finishing school is such a big deal, regardless of what grades they get. Where in like middle and upper class families, I don't like to like put a bleeding label on it, but like in middle and upper class families, you have to get a certain
there's
grade.
expectations.
There's expectations. Where the expectation for kids from areas like ours and other working class areas and areas in poverty is just to get to school and try and finish school.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
It's
100%.
not about
I've heard stories, boys, of like people coming out of school, like they're leaving certain, they have like close to 500 points or whatever, and like their mas and dads being disappointed, and in the same class, another child, like their ma just being ecstatic that they done the leaving cert.
Yeah.
Like fuck, you got points yet? Whatever you got. And like the other man being like, well, that's not really great. Is like you've played nearly 500 points in your leaving cert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well,
your
it's
man saying that's not great.
expectation
That's what I'm
levels.
saying. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
But Gav, what was it like for you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Like, going through school was good to a certain point, you know. Then, you know, we were always real good in school. Terence felt it was a bleeding mad thing. Like, honestly, he was bleeding mad in primary school and secondary school. You just couldn't get a hold of him. Remember, like, when we first went into secondary school, me and Ger were in there, what were you, a year ahead of you, was it,
yours would have
Terence?
been second year, I would have been first year.
And we were kind of telling people about him coming in and all, like, he's a madman and all. Watch, I guarantee he might get suspended once or twice throughout the year. He wasn't even in the school 5 days and the fella was bleeding suspended.
Disaster.
Honestly, he was mad.
I remember saying 30 and I'd be like, Terence, listen, like just before break where we go off, we'd have 40 minutes, I'd be like, listen, just don't get into trouble or whatever, and I'll see you at lunch. And you know, I just wanted to be with Gavin and Terence, you get me?
Yeah.
you know, we'd be playing, you'd be going to a different class or wherever there in secondary school and be walk past the office and then you just look in and this Terence fella's in there with the principal and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, you couldn't...
And would teachers say anything to you about your little brother? Like, would say, oh, your little brother, blah, blah, blah? No.
Not really, no. Like,
Because like we would have been around the same age, like although like they're my older brothers,
Yeah.
like teachers probably wouldn't have looked at them like to
As
give me
out- yeah,
advice.
yeah,
do you know what I mean?
yeah.
To have a word with them, like...
They kind of want to be in control as well, don't they? Like the teachers,
Yeah.
so like you
They
can't.
don't
really-
want to look like they have to go and
I
get
can't
help.
discipline my little brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If fella score me with an ashtray or something.
Yeah, so primary school good, secondary school you made us through secondary school, junior cert, leaving cert, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Come here, did you, when you were in school, did you ever want to be at when you grew up? Like, did you ever have any goal?
Just wanted to get through school first, like, and wasn't really aspiring to be anything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was just there was certain stages in school where, like I would have done anything for money. You know, I never had anything. Terence knows this and Ger knows this. Like, we didn't have a lot. You know, like we were really struggling. There was some days there where, like, you'd be struggling for food. You'd be going to bed hungry. The gaff was never warm. You know, duvet, sleeping with a sheet over yourself, you know, you were never clean. So, like, I always had it in my head, like, finish school and when you get through that all, you can get yourself a job and earn your own money, you know, do your own thing, you know. I never really had an idea, like, I know a lot of people, like, don't really want to do that. Like nobody I had in my family to really look up to, you know, like, that worked really, that I could say, yeah, I want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
Like, in the not Terence,
Like not many role models.
not many role models, exactly. So when I kind of left school, all I really wanted to do was work. I
Yeah.
would have done anything for.
Have your own fuel bottle.
That's it, Terence. You know yourself. Like,
Stand on your own 2
that's
feet,
it,
basically.
like, and that's kind of. I would have done anything for money. You
Yeah.
name it, I would have done
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Like, I never really aimed for anything.
Just you.
No, I'm on the same boat as Gavin there. Like, I never, you know, that was kind of always thrown on us, like, what you going to do after school, what you going to do here. You know, like, I actually had no idea. And I felt, you know, obviously your family doesn't want you doing nothing. But, like, I felt pressurised into almost saying that. Like, when we finished school, we went and done a PLC course in PC specialism. Went to this, done, you know, like, and that's great, you know, computers are the way forward, you know, like, money and whatsoever, like, but
Yeah.
I went there, I was sitting there a week and I just knew this wasn't for me, do you get me?
Yeah.
But instead of leaving, I stuck it out because I didn't want to disappoint the family, do you get me?
Yeah, yeah.
So I stuck it out, and obviously I knew that wasn't the route that I wanted to go.
Did you do the same course?
Yeah, same
course,
Me and
passed
Gav been
everything
through
flying colours.
everything
you know.
together, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, everything together, yeah.
Same, like, we're just not them people, you know. I don't like kind of sitting around all day in routine, you know. I kind of like getting out and about, you know. So
Don't like being in a routine. So what job did you take up?
the army.
Don't like being in a routine. he says.
no, honestly,
means
I
like
mean,
a
like,
little
yeah,
slouch, you know?
yeah.
slagging me job, fucking much.
So, right, we go back a bit, yeah, because we had to go through school, but you said your dad passes away, yeah, and you was actually don't grow up in the same house as Terence.
Well, no, we kind of did. So, when my dad passed away, like, it got hard in the house, you know. If you touch on to my ma's episode, you'll understand. She started using drug substances and drinking a lot, and
More heavily than
yeah,
she was.
exactly. Yeah,
And in
more
fairness,
heavily, and
she
it's-
does touch on it. She is going through it. It's only when you look back now you realise she is going through a lot herself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, my ma had a bad upbringing herself, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, what Terence touches on, it's a generational cycle.
That's right,
And, like,
yeah.
and we're ready, like, we're not sitting here, we don't hold any grudges towards our ma. You know, as far as we're all concerned, it's put to bed, you know.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters now is that she does the right thing for them kids. For we have another 3 bleeding, 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Yeah.
And if she does right by them, you know, like, we don't care. You know, whatever happened in the past is in the past. We've moved on, we've built bridges, and it's done
and
with.
he's reconciled, and
Yeah.
and I think that's why I always say to Terence, that Young Man episode is it's my favourite one, and I
Yeah.
think it's the best because, like, there's moments in it and you can see it, you know what I mean? And I'm raging we didn't have her on video as well, but, like, you could see it just there. She's pouring her heart out and she's expressing how sorry she is, and, like, you weren't there, but she's mentioning how sorry she is for you as well, and she's
Yeah.
saying it to Terence, and it was magical. And I don't know if magical is the right word to use, because what was just happening, it was just so emotional, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm sitting here, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can see it, like, and so it shows so much maturity as well, that you can talk about this stuff, but it's like there's no, like, you're talking about as if, like, in a way that it didn't happen because
Yeah.
you don't have any burden on it. There's no
Not a
grudge.
lifetime ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's put to bed. Like there's no grudges. He's reconciled. He's have moved on. You know, like that. And so in a way, it's nice that you can touch back on it. You can tell people, and you can share this story with people who might be going through something else.
That's it, like,
and
there's
they can build
hundreds
a
of
bridge
families.
then
Yeah, you
with
know-
their own parents or their own like family to say, Jesus, yeah, you must have had a bad growing up, and yet you were substance abusing as well. But now I understand and I forgive you. You know, like that.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. You know, a lot of people wrote us off, and you know, I thought me and Gav were good kids. This Terence fellow was a lunatic, but you know, like a lot of people did write us off, and I'd say like we knew people around the area, and I'd be saying like, don't hang around them. You know, like they'll bring you
They're
down.
going down the wrong road, yeah.
And you know, they're only protecting their own kids, which we were only kids at the time. But it's like that, like we were wrote off, but we're at that making something of ourselves. We came through something, but you don't always have to be there. And if that can help somebody else, you know, like that's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you
And
know,
you touch on that as well, Terence. Terence always says about like, you know, when you see someone and they've gone down the wrong road and everyone says, oh, they never had a chance.
Yeah.
Like you are literally someone who never had a chance.
Yeah.
So how come you are where you are?
yeah, true, yeah.
Do you know?
I wish you could see us back then.
I think, like,
Because-
I know what you're going. I'm like that as well. Because you know what I feel like I do an awful lot as well on this podcast. Because I hate the pity party.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
hate
no.
I feel like a burden sometimes if I talk about even like relapsing and things like that. I feel like pity us. So I downplay it a little bit.
Yeah.
When like really it was bad, boys.
No, it was
Yeah.
right. It was
Yeah.
very bad, yeah.
Remember having scraps in the gaffer, mouldy bread.
That's a true
That
story.
is a true story.
But look at boys, it happened. He's saying it. There's someone out there that might be going through it.
Yeah, no,
Do you know,
yeah.
the times are getting harder now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
times are bad back then for people, but times are getting harder. There's people out there who've like gone to college, they're in a solid job, and they're still not making ends meet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
things are gonna
crazy
get
to think
hard
as
again,
well, like,
boys.
isn't it? Like, that's
So someone
mad.
could listen to this and be like, Jesus, they had a background up, I'm going through this hard time. They might be able to get something out of it, you know?
100%.
That's it. If it can inspire like one kid to think different and be like, right, actually, I'm not wrote off just
Yeah.
yet. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it doesn't matter if you're a young kid or you're in your teen years or you're even an early adult.
Yeah.
You don't have to live in the past. You get me?
No, and you can
move
break
on
that
from this.
cycle.
Or you can use it to motivate you to be something
Yeah.
better. Do you know what I mean? Like, that gives me fuel to always want to be better. When someone says to me, like, I don't think you're going to be able to do this, that throws fuel to the fire for me. Like, that makes me want to prove my point. You know, someone says it doesn't
can't-
matter.
yeah.
That there's not a better motivator than that. That's
Yeah.
that's
It's definitely not, yeah, like people judging it and all, like you just want to prove them wrong, so
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Someone
you know?
asked me that before in work, was what inspires you? And I know it sounds real cringy, and I couldn't. I goes, what inspires me is being told I can't do something.
yeah.
Do you know, when
100%.
someone says, oh, you shouldn't be here, but I am here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, make that make sense for me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, be your own inspiration if that's how it has to be.
100%.
So, you touch on all that stuff, yeah, and the trauma and all that, yeah. So, what was this fella like? What was it like growing up with him?
Here we fucking go.
Oh, hey, like honestly, like when me and Ger, like even as kids when we used to fight, like we'd have a little strain or here and there and burn
Off
blood.
each other?
Yeah, off each other, just me and Ger, you know what I mean? But it's like you don't want to cross paths with the Terence fella. Like I remember even when we were kids, like me and Ger always had what would you call it, a limit? Like we wouldn't go like so far on each other, you know what I mean? But like I remember me and
had, like,
Terence had a
pointing
strain
noses and
that day
all.
one day, and he's only a kid. And I'm walking away and he hits me with an ashtray in the back of the head. So you kind of think to yourself, there's something up with this fella, you know what I mean? Like, he's bleeding off his rocker. And obviously it gets kind of a bit worse and all as he gets older, you know, he's a bleeding mad thing, so...
Throwing sly hooks at you and all.
Ah, yeah.
No, that
No.
was me.
Yeah.
We had a few drinks. It was around.
One night we had a few drinks one night. We did, me and Jim.
Things are going on, right? No, like nothing even going on. I think I don't know. I said something.
I started more.
I said something to wind him up. I said, "You red cunt" or something. The 30 fella starts on me. I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "It's only a laugh and a joke, whatever." Like, no, it was straight. Like there was nothing even going on. So this fella, I'm walking out with a gaff and all, and oh my God, this fella gives me a sly dig from the heavens. Tries to put me into a coffin with this show. I swear to God. I remember turning around and he was just standing there and I was like, mate,
You're getting it.
it didn't matter if he ran or not, I was going to catch him.
That was my whole thought process.
You told me this story from your side, and he goes, I'm putting him out with this dick. You said it to me, he goes, I'm putting him out with this, I'm telling, and he goes, I heard him, and nothing happened. And it was like bollocks, and you turned around.
It was the best slide dig on the north side, boys.
Not that good, bro. I believe brother turned around and goes, you had to flick at me.
99% strike rate. He's the only man that got out and do it. I remember he's walking ahead of me and I says, I have to send him to the girl, like, because he's going to batter me, you know what I mean? So he's took a few steps ahead of me and I says, fuck it, I pulled him out of his pocket. Boom! Back of the head. He stumbles a few feet forward and jams on, doesn't hit the floor. I says, if I run, he's still going to catch me. So I just put the dukes up, didn't I? Oh, it was in the matter for about 12 days. I was broke.
You told me you started kneeing it, no? Kneeing the face
Hold
off.
up, he started kneeing the head off. Sitting in the matter, me nose on back the front. He says, that's why me nose is
You
this
actually
big.
ended up in the matter,
I
didn't you?
did, I was in the matter all night. I was, me nose was around here.
Face inside out.
Yeah, oh, it was broke up. But yeah, you have to throw it out slow you hook if you know you're getting a hiding, boys.
But with Tardens, like, Tardens was always that type of kid that, like, kind of obsessive as a kid as well, you know. And it was the same with, like, playing with the PlayStations and stuff like that, you know. You could never get him off it if it's his, do you get me?
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, as he gets older, he starts going into the drinking scene. And you weren't even into the drink, weren't you, not, like, at the very start?
Yeah.
Wasn't?
I wasn't into the nightclub scene.
Yeah,
No,
and then what
I
happened was it just escalated and escalated until you touch on yourself. You just get to it, you're out of control. That, you know, you're the type of person that, like, obviously my brother loved the bitch. You're the type of person that you couldn't even approach. You know, if you were with Tardens, right, you'd be sitting here, we were all having a laugh. You'd say something to him like, shut up, you. You know, like nothing. You don't mean any harm with it, but you could say it to him 2 minutes after, and he's looking to have his straighteners off you, and all. You're like, what the fuck, you know? Like that's the way he ended up, and that was through drink and obviously drugs and stuff, you know. But like, looking at you now, like, I'm absolutely so proud of you. Like, you're like, you actually are a different person, turns out, straight, and only for the better as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I say it, I grew up with the three of us have been through, you know, a lot of shit together from an early age, and like, you're complete. Like, going back even 3 months ago, like, as time goes on, you're only getting better as a person. The podcast, absolutely, like, people love it. Yes, are absolutely loved. What is that doing for mental health, hitting hard topics? You know, you don't shy away from that, and it's just brilliant. Like, it really, really is.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I'm just chuffed to you, and I wish nothing for the best for the boat. You're out straight.
Nah, I was right. I even want to touch on this a little bit. Yeah, like, as Ger was saying, he hit the drink and the drugs, obviously. But like, he was hard to be around. You know what I mean? Like, he was a shit brother. He was shit friend. He was constantly looking for trouble, constantly fighting, unapproachable. Do you know what I mean? He was just a horrible person. And now, like, he's after getting himself together. And honestly, like, if you just seen this young fella now, like, what he used to be, he was a monster. And where he is now, he's the nicest young fella you'll ever meet. It's just the change that he's had to go through from making them little like them little habits, like good habits, like running, fitness, exercise,
Sobriety.
all that. Sobriety, yeah, all them things. Like, it's just amazing. Like, he's a new person, and fair play to you.
Do you know, growing up, I knew you used to, yeah, 'cause not many twins in the area, but I never knew that you were that brother. I never even knew you existed up until a few years ago. I thought you were that cousin.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In fairness, because he has red hair as well,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, it's not that cousin. Everyone's like, no, it's that little brother. I was like, that's a weird
Everyone
one.
thinks he's me older brother.
Everyone says that,
You know.
boys.
That's because I can't grow a beard.
That's the years of blade trauma, boys. You look about 45, boys.
It's the smokes.
That's them
The
sessions.
good Harry's,
The
boys.
good
I wanna
Johnny
get off
Blue.
the John Blue. See, boys, that's the problem with this podcast. You know what I mean? Boys, see the podcast, right? That helps with me sobriety to an extent, because I feel like I have a responsibility. I
Yeah.
feel like if I go back on the drink now after all me talk and trying to help so many people, I look like a prick. And I did that in the early episodes with the Harrys, didn't I? I'm off the smokes and all. But I'm only back on them over.
Bleeding, not that long.
Yeah, but I ended up obviously in the hostel and all, and then I was sitting in there and the smell of piss and all of me. You know, I'm holding the area up trying to watch Law and Order and all, boys. So I did a stint, boys. Yeah. And then, like,
And people in the joy had it better than you, and they did. You talked to people, remember?
my friend only got out, he did 2 years, and he FaceTimed me, and I was like, what's the story? Look, I didn't know you were out and all. And he says, where are you? I says, I'm in a hostel. He says, show me. I showed him. He's like, where's your Xbox? why's your bed like that and all? He was like, they stay
This
like,
fella only out of joy, like.
he said, my
They
son,
don't have
criticising my
Xboxes in the joy, do they?
do you have Xboxes, FIFA and all,
hell, we
career
do a
mode?
stint.
And he said to me, that's dog up in there. So when I used to be in the room, boys, you'd be bleeding depressed out of the head sitting there. I heard all the little elflas outside now having a smoke. Said, I'm going back on the smokes. Just to have the banter with the boys. So yeah, but I'm going to get back off the smokes. I am, yeah.
You've got a lot better. And I think it's the winter months I'm getting you a lot better because you can't be going outside standing there freezing.
Standing out there, better cold you do,
Terence was like, can you go out for a smoke? Not a whisper.
humble way it's going past. But yeah, even like what you're saying there about me, like I feel the change in myself. Do you get me? I know like there's people out there that will only remember me as that person
Little bastard.
that I was. But even just 2 years ago or 3 years ago, people in me who were in my life then will only remember me as that person because I was bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier, like I do downplay a lot of stuff on this because I hate that pity party. I feel like I feel like I'm a burden.
Yeah.
I feel like if you talk about certain things, people is like, here we go. You know what I mean? But like I was bad on drinking drugs. You know what I mean? Like was it an everyday sort of thing? And I know that affected me mentally because the boys are right. It was hard to sit around, like, you know, because 1 minute it'd be all cool and then like the next minute it'd be just things going through my head and I was like a light switch. And then even after, like me and the boys have a fight and they'd say, look how, like the next day or the day after, because I'd lose me rag and I'd go, you know what I mean, straight on the drink or whatever, and then they'd be like the next day or the day after, why are you doing that? How do you go from being all right 10 minutes ago and then boom, you know what I mean? And it was like that, but like I was saying, like a lot of people will only remember me as that person.
We've talked about this recently a lot, and it's that ownership of like, you're not saying that you never done bad things or you weren't a bad person.
But I mean, I was really bad.
Yeah, but it's still, but bad is bad, mate, you know what I mean? It's having that ownership, not denying it, like putting your hands up and saying, no, I was that, but I'm not that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's growth, that's maturity. And in fairness, if you're the same person now in 2 years' time, I think that's still just as bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you should always be ground. You should always strive and be better, boys. You know, like that, and especially the position you're in now. If you're making changes in your life the way you are, and you're not changing, something's up.
Yeah.
Do you know like that? And even now, people think just because you're sober, automatically you're just changed. You're actually grown a lot more now than you were when we started doing the podcast. Like the chats we've had in 2022, Terence, we're bleeding 8 weeks into the fucking year, and the chats we've had about it already, and you can see it, and you've reflected a lot more now this time around than you did when we started the podcast.
Yeah.
You were like, I love being sober, it's great, and it's like now you're a new person again.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? You just keep
But
evolving.
I was going through that time because remember when I said it before I relapsed that time and all, a friend of mine who was in recovery at the time, so he wasn't really going to the meetings and that, and he said to me, that's a term called clean and crazy. So yeah, you're sober, but you're still feeling all the effects. But now I think I'm at a stage in my life where I'm feeling like it's like I'm at the gaining a conscience or something. Like, boys, I keep looking back on things that I did when I was drinking and doing drugs and whatever, and I'm like, I can't believe that I used to act that way.
Yeah.
Do you get me? And I find that I find it tough, like it's hard.
But that's acceptance.
Yeah.
It's like you're down the time for it now. You know what I mean? You did the crime back then. You're down the time now.
Yeah.
You know, but it's good that you're able to look back and say that was wrong.
Yeah.
So you know not to do it again. Or if you see somebody acting like that, you can call her out.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
When you see people like that, you always say like, he's in the wrong for this or she's doing this wrong, and you're able to do that because you're talking from experience.
Yeah.
It's not as if you're just making her up. You know, like that. And that's just ownership, bro.
Yeah.
And that's where it is.
Do you ever? I'm a cunt at getting caught up in my own head as well. Because like I want to prove to everyone, like I'm not like that anymore. You know,
Yeah.
and some people will never accept that.
Yeah.
So
But
some people.
I don't think that's something that you have to accept.
Yeah.
That some people won't
that
accept
some
it.
people won't, and yeah, look, it is what it is. We all fuck up. We all
Yeah.
make
Make
mistakes.
mistakes, Terence, you
Well,
know what I
no
mean?
one's perfect, boys.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We all make mistakes. No one's,
Yeah.
you know.
You could do 100 good things for someone, but you'll always remember the one bad thing that
Yeah.
you've done. Like, it's time to let go, you know. You're a good person now. We see it in you. You're
Yeah.
a solid young fella. And look, you're sober now. Fair play to you.
Fresh, have a
Legend.
podcast and all that.
Want me go back on it?
Forgets himself, doesn't he, boys?
The man, love the session he did.
He still does.
They'll be still out sober, boys.
Relapse 2.0.
Terence sober hangovers are real.
We were all out on the rip the other night, boys.
Yeah. What a
Terence was playing Swamp in the OOs.
See what Gavin said there, a sober hangover's real.
Of course, boys.
No, I wouldn't say they are real.
I've never ever felt worse hangovers than I have been.
Friday morning in yoga. Remember I dropped into you?
Critical. Boys,
I was
listen to
asleep inside the breakfast roll, boys.
I was listening to me, right, boys? Listen to this, right? I go out on a bender for 3 days, boys, and you'd go through the hangover on the bender. You go out Friday, come home Monday, you're after going through your hangovers. Now you're just going through the third and the come down and what's at the happening. But now it's like, boys, when I wake up after night, I think it's like the music, all the talking, the chatting, you're up late.
Just shattered.
And when you wake up, boys, you'll be critical. I say, I'll just go back on it and that'll be that. You'll be safe.
Get over it, yeah. But you need to realise you're not sleeping, yeah? So you're not taking anything to subside the tiredness.
Yeah.
You know when people are out and they're taking Hilver, they're not going to sleep, that's keeping you awake.
Yeah.
But you're not taking that anymore, so you're fighting the tiredness, you're not eating. You need to eat, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, you're just staying up late. The loud music as well. I do go home, my ears do be ringing and all.
Yeah.
Something like that, and you'd be in a jock.
When you're on the gargle, you don't feel it.
Remember, I dropped into him on Friday. Remember you rang us to see what the story was, yeah?
Yeah.
And we were having something to eat, and two of us were in the jock, and I was like, Terence, I have to go back to work. And you were like, what do you mean you're going to work? I was like, Terence, it's Friday. And he didn't even know what day it was.
That was
So I had to go to
Tuesday.
work.
I didn't know what about
But I thought it was Saturday, turns out straight. I thought we went out on Friday. And here I was getting the football gear ready because I had the match on the Sunday. And he goes, do you not play on Sundays? I say, yeah,
Were
that's
you not
tomorrow.
drinking?
I was drinking.
No wonder you were like that, you were still drunk.
Stuff.
But boys, going out, people think that you have a handy going out so bad. I think it's
And
very,
another thing,
it is very
another
tough.
person texts me as well saying you must save a fortune.
No, you don't.
Boys, I spend more now
Yeah.
if you take away the class A's because that used to set you back a
How
bit.
much is a can of Red Bull on a night out?
No, it is. It's expensive, boys.
Yeah,
Not
it
drinking. It
is.
really is. Like,
Yeah.
a bottle of OO is the same price as a normal bottle.
Yeah,
isn't
same
it?
place.
Yeah.
Have
and
a
then-
good story about them OOs. I was
Right,
out
fill
in
us
the
in.
Bob Dylan there one night, right? And I was after having a few drinks. I had a few bottles of Heineken in the gaff before I went out. So I went out and I'm drinking all these
I
bottles
said
of Heineken.
this.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm sitting there and everybody's like at the stage where they're up running amok, bouncing around the dance floor. And I'm just feeling a bit insecure, a bit like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, I'm usually bouncing around there at this stage. So next of all, looks at the table, and I mean the table is full of bottles. All of them were OOs. Saying, I walked up to your man and says, what are you at the man giving me? And he goes, do you not want Heineken OOs? I says, no. He says, give me my money back for all this. I've been drinking OOs all night. Stone cold sober.
But it tastes the same.
Yeah, it's the exact
rotten.
same.
It's
Nah,
fucking
but
rotten,
love
boys.
it.
Hate it. But Red Bull's a fiver as well, yeah. That's
That's a
fucking...
bleeding fortune.
Do you not see Kevin after a Red Bull playing Wheelhouse out there?
Seen
The
him
Wheelhouse.
out the rye, yeah.
The way
That
up
was some
the-
night, the
the-
Wheelhouse night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was
did
class.
you see my
boys.
first dates, boys?
Yeah, he's a legend.
But just think
man.
about that actually. We should have brought that up.
We'll just go on 4 states, boys.
No, I have a board.
If we're single.
Yeah, obviously, if you're single, not... We
No,
have a
but-
board, he says.
Another. Yeah, no, I don't think I would. Because I can barely do this podcast.
We were asked
Yeah, we were asked to do it, yeah.
after Ireland.
You not
Day,
go up 30?
No, we will not. We
Yeah,
stop
sure
there with
would.
that.
Ireland's go
No,
on.
we bounce in. No bothers. You'll go on a date with a little honey or like some.
Does not record it, yeah.
Just not on the cameras, no,
Yeah.
boys. You're
I-
flirting the
I-
gaff down with a fresh fade, no, do you know what I mean? They can't be on the telly flirting the gaff down.
Yeah, because then everyone knows what you're going to say, and then when you want to date with a new board, you know what I mean? You'd be
Yeah.
burnt out, and
I
you'd
have
be
a
like, oh...
script. I have a script for every day.
The
What's up?
one-liners would be played, she'd be yawning and all.
Do you
and
want
you'd
to
be
come
like,
back the gaff? Or the mauldron?
Yeah.
No, right, come on, let's hear it after.
And then when the bill comes and she goes, all right, I'll get this, you just go mute. Yeah, no,
You
brother.
better believe.
Yeah.
Fucking right, you get it. That's what I was saying to Wheelo. I texted him, I said, do they really make you pay? Yeah, they do. I thought they would have covered the bill. You just make it look like my phone's gone, bro. You just make it say like, I thought they added that in, John Barber drama. Will he pay? Will they split it? Will she
Yeah.
pay? No, like they make you actually pay for the bill.
Boys, that's
That's
bad out, isn't it?
scandalous,
What's
boys.
going on for them? Onto the telly.
Boys,
But it's good publicity for you.
yeah,
They do it right.
yeah,
We
Come
know
here.
God slated.
Oh, he got
yes,
slated,
it
but he's the goat. He's backing him up on everything.
He's a legend, boys. Now, he
Facebook,
comes
Instagram.
across obnoxious and arrogant and all these things, but he's a good
actually
young
not. He's actually down to earth.
Yeah,
Not back
he is,
hill,
yeah.
hill lad. Like,
You have to know him, yeah. You have to know him, yeah. He's the goat.
But I think he done it on purpose as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, publicity. They're on the national
Good man,
telly.
Wheelo.
Yeah, you've one job there, make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
You fucking went and done it.
Oh,
You
shit,
get
yeah.
it?
Go on to anyone who was on it, go on to all their Instagrams. They're all gone up about bleeding 6,000 followers since
Yeah.
being on it, do you know what I mean? So it's a good platform for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
careful.
Do you know what I mean? You have another funny story to tell us about school.
this about your man who
Yeah.
turned the cookie.
Yeah.
So he's all now turns was a bleeding mad thing. And
Stop saying a mad thing. People be like, you know
Nah,
what I
he
mean?
was a
I was
mad
like,
young
what?
fella, like,
I
he
was
was a
just a
mad kid.
disaster of a young
Yeah,
fella, do you
yeah.
get me?
So we're leaving school one day and there's loads of us. You know the way the roads do be packed when you're on your way home. And there was this fella in school. This was the one fella that you didn't want to cross paths with. He was chinning everybody.
Calvin, this fella was a monster. It was like
Monster.
Fedor Emelianenko
He
walking
used to
under
bring
him.
He
gloves
had
to
AIDS
school
in
and
his
a gum
hands
shield.
He used to bring a gum shield to school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight shit. I wasn't even looking in his direction. You know what I mean? So anyways, we're walking up the road there. Terence is in front of us with a few of his mates out of his class. And me and Jerry's just walking behind him. You know what I mean? Minding our own business. Next of all, it just says Terence with a cookie. Yeah, man. Hits him straight in the back of the ear. Yeah, man, down like that, holding his head. What's going on?
Cookie
Turns
crisp to
around.
the ear.
Right, Terence is at the hitting him with the cookie. He's standing right behind him, and Terence walks past him like nothing happened.
You're dead right.
Like, and your man didn't even think to say, that's him with the packet of cookies in his hand. Right?
No, because you know what they were? They were the little purple packet of animal cookies.
Yeah.
Now them ones.
Whopper yolks.
So I took her out and I made because you're gonna do it. They were right, boys. Don't hit the little young lad. Go for the big
Yeah.
Because even if he
Because you
does,
can't get called a bully then.
yeah, and if he can't, like if he sees it's me, the chase then the rush. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna deal with this, you know. So he was 2 feet in front of me, like, and I had the cookie, so I took one out and I just looked at him and I says, here we are. Boom! Back in the head, squashed the packet in my hand. What happened?
So Terence hits him with the cookie. I mean, I almost took your man's ear off. I'm not messing with you. So we and Jared are walking along and I started shaking. I was like, is he actually at that young that year? And we started looking at each other like it's getting nervous and all. So next of all, your man, like a babe, grabs Jared up by the throat, press him against the wall.
Snatched up like an
Oh,
egg.
like an egg. And the next of all, your man lets Jerry go and I says, Jerry, don't. So Jerry gives your man a box, doesn't he? Next of all, I'm like, this fella here, he's playing bad for everybody, you know what I mean? So me and Jerry jumped on him, I'm like, where's Terry? We need the backup. Or a whisper
We
out of
look up
Terence.
the road, 30 power taking towels.
Not taking
toes.
toes, not taking toes, walking up the road like nothing happened. Gets back to
We don't know then.
Me and Jerry busted up, gets back to the gaff. What are you at to doing, you red cunt? What you mean? That was at the taking your man's blade near over a cookie, and then you live those two to get lumped around your finger. Oh, he's a madman, it was straight.
Oh, I used to love it, boys. I was a little prick of a thing, I was, boys. I told you before. Remember when we were talking about the flats years ago? Now, remember to tell about the time when I got the chase?
Oh, stop. So, like, Terence used to play ball with us and all the time, but he also loved the little chase, you know what I mean? And we're all in the
On my
flats.
own and all.
So we're in the flats playing football, and next of all, you just see this young fella, didn't see who it was, just sprinting through the flats like a rocket. And he jumps into the dump, there's a dump in the flats, you know what I mean, a wall. Next of all, you see 2 squad cars flying in. Like, what's going on here? So we started shitting. I was like, what's going on here? So I went up to my Auntie Betty's flat, so you can see into the dump. So I'm looking over, and there you see Terence Power getting chased up the dump by 2 coppers up one end and 2 coppers up the other end. Well, I tell you, this copper caught Terence with a root up the hole. Oh, sent him out of the dump.
Sent me the Holy God's Captain, did he? Lifted me.
What was he chasing you for?
What was that time?
I
Did
couldn't
you throw
tell
an
you.
egg or a copper?
That was a different time.
No.
That was Paddy's Day. That's when we never got new clothes on it, and we didn't. We were always had old clothes, know what I mean? And my ma got us new clothes for Paddy's Day this year, and I had the copper with an egg twist. And I took for life. And there was only one way out here. There was 2 coppers behind me, and there was a big huge gate, so I scaled them. When I got over the other side, grey tracksuit, oil all over it. Well, boys,
Heart broke, huh?
leathered, bare from pillar to post in the flats by the hour. And deserved it. But I mean, don't do any of that shit, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I was just, do you know what it was? It's definitely the ADHD, because when I look back on it, you see, it's attention, boys.
The
I
impulsive,
love,
yeah.
impulsive,
Yeah.
and the attention. So when the flats used to be packed over, I'd be like, if I get chased through the flats by the guard here, I'm going to be a legend. You're not. You're a
And how?
stupid little cunt.
And everybody would be talking about him.
Yeah,
See that Terence fella, he's off the head him, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Only a
and
kid.
I used to love that. So
And
what
all the
I do,
elbows and all
like
that.
I'd be walking past the flats on my own and I'd see a guard car or something and I'd just throw something at it. So they jump out, as soon as they jump out, run through the flats where everyone's watching. And all the elbows, I'd be like, come on, keep going. You know? Me flying through the flats.
Yeah, trying to
And sometimes
trying
you
to
wouldn't
get
get
it
caught,
done
but other times I did. It's,
Yeah, hiding. Few slaps.
Never worth it, boys. It was. But yeah,
Look at him now.
few little stories, boys, when I was a little cunt.
The Gavi penis.
What's happening?
The daddy-o fella.
Oh yeah, the Cruise fella, absolutely chuffed.
So what's it like now being a daddy-o?
Oh, it's unreal. Honestly, I don't know what it was like before I had him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I used to do with my day.
Yeah.
Every day now I get to spend with him, so it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean?
How old's he now?
He's 7 weeks.
7 weeks, only a nipple, literally
Oh,
only a
stop!
nipple.
He's ready for the few drinks that will out.
Gavin rang me the other day. He said, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and he was walking around the room. I said, you stupid cunt.
He'd want to go out and get a job, wouldn't he?
Like we didn't know what we were having. Do you know what I mean? Like what I was going
I
to get
knew.
bored
It
of
was a
kid.
baby. Who is the godfather?
No names.
Say nothing. Touchy subject, is it?
We make Kyle.
Yeah.
I meant Calvin.
No, I'm the podfather, bro.
You're the pod father.
Podfather, he can be the godfather.
Well, obviously, you have the baby with Dana. And
Yeah.
Dana's nephew is...
Yeah, Dana's nephew is, do you know the two lads, well, nephews, do you know the two lads that were on the Late Late
The
Show?
Late Late Toy Show,
Yeah,
yeah.
Callum Curran and Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hype Man Jackson.
They're
too,
legends.
Shout
Yeah,
out
we're
to
the two boys.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
boys.
Follow them on
legends.
Instagram there, yeah. DJ Callum Curran and Hype Man Jackson. Two lads are legends out straight.
How much
Damn.
you get paid to vlog that?
Yeah.
Say no, the brown envelope job.
Come on, that must be some bleeding gaff down, in fairness. They're all bleeding mad up there already. Like, your uncle is, he's going to be a head case.
Oh, stop.
It's
saying.
in the genes, like.
A mix of fingless in town?
Yeah, but it's in the
Say nothing.
genes. That young bloke Callum's about 6 and he's on the decks mixing and all. You know what I mean? I can't even mix scrambled egg, boys. He is. I follow him. He's bleeding lethal. Like, he's not
boys.
just like, look at that young bloke playing Jones. He's like legit
No,
lethal.
Nah, boys,
Legit.
out
See,
straight.
Tiesto
Tiesto text him and all, yeah.
No, boys, out straight, he's quality.
He's actually very
Like,
good.
He's always plays at every family party and all, doesn't he?
Ah,
out
yeah, like, out straight, like, he's gonna be, he should be doing a few gigs, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's that good, like, you've seen it yourselves.
The
at
only thing
Late
that's
Late
holding
Show.
him back is his age. He won't be
Isn't
allowed
it,
on the
like-
bleeding
like,
premises.
He will, boys, he will be a superstar when he's older.
100%
Out
he's gonna be.
100%. The
Out
potential
straight.
is
Shout
there.
for him as well. What
Yeah,
what's
it
the
is.
Late Late Show,
It's
boys?
yeah.
How good
yeah.
was that? Wasn't
He was
it?
on the toy show, then he was on the late like the week after,
Yeah,
so wasn't he?
yeah.
Fucking lethal,
Hard to
boys.
go, the young fella.
No, you'd love to see it, you do. And do you know what I love even more? Because it's something completely different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Isn't it like how like all them
He's doing
Late Late
DJing.
shows have always been the same, you know, kind of like they base it around kind of one thing and it's
Yeah.
just boring and all. But this year, like they got the DJs. Now, how good was all the kids
But
out
But
running
he
them
was
up
the talk
dancing?
of the
and
show after.
what?
Yeah,
Like,
do you know what I mean?
and do you remember the
That's
meme?
because it's so unusual.
Yeah.
Like, what old is he? 12?
He's
Younger?
11 or 12.
11
yeah.
or 12, and he's doing DJ, like
Yeah.
proper mixes
Carl,
and
did you
sets.
see
and
the part where your mum was singing and he was in the background?
he's making faces
Oh,
and all, yeah.
Oh, that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen, boys. Out straight, it was so funny, wasn't it? Like?
Nah, boys, he's a legend, yeah, it's great to see. We'll probably end up having him on. He's probably too young to come on, is
That's
he?
why
Permission
I've
slip.
said that to Gavin
Yeah.
before. I said, look, I would love to have him on, and of course the right time would have been straight after all that, get him straight in. It's
Yeah.
big, but he's only young, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
What was life like growing up? You're still in nappies.
Yeah,
Do you
I haven't
know
grew
what
up yet.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm waiting, hopefully Sandy comes this year and all. Like, yeah, pal. You're on the naughty list
I
there.
was about to say something.
Yeah, say less. We leave it at that.
Right, boys, we're not doing a lot of talking about everyone else, but you do, boys. Do you know what I mean? So, what's life like? So, obviously, it's took us through all that. What's life like now? What are you doing now?
Yeah, you finished school anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Back to the point. You didn't like college,
No, college wasn't for us.
so you applied for...
Well, I'll give you the story on that. Like, after that, we actually went and we got working as we got a job in a cleaning company. And with that, like, you were stationed in one place, right?
Yeah, it was.
And I wasn't, so we'd get like, so we were both working for the same company, but it'd
You'd
be
be on
like,
the road.
so yeah, so they'd be
Yeah.
like, listen, you have to go here, you have to go to Dunleary tomorrow, and then all this, you know, it was, the money wasn't great, and it was just, you just weren't satisfied, obviously, in a
I
job
used to work
like
for the
that.
cleaning company, and it used to be the same thing.
Yeah,
I
what
used
is
to be
it?
based on one spot, but they could ring it
Yeah.
and say you were going to be somewhere, and I used to be like, oh, boys, don't be at that. Someone swap with me, do you know what I mean?
Break your
Don't be
heart.
at that.
No, it would, because
Yeah,
it
it
does
would.
break your heart.
When you see the phone ring, like, it was just like the money. You're
And it's
paying
not
for
worth it,
buses,
the
your
hassle,
lunches
yeah.
and all, and when you take all that away and then your rent, you're left with nothing. It almost felt like you were doing it for
And it's
nothing.
backbreaking.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, you know, you're in there and you're scrubbing, and someone will come in, and people were like, what I didn't like was you'd be doing something, and someone will come in and do like, and be like, oh, you didn't do that proper, and you're like, I'm not even finished, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're belittling me, yeah.
Yeah. So we kind of went down that road, and then obviously I started kind of going down a road where I didn't really want. I left that job and I wasn't really doing that with myself at the time. And I went back to Foss. Now, I have nothing against Foss, you know, like, if that's the route you want to go, fair play to you, but at the age that I was at, after being through school, and I'm at the going to college, I was at the being working, I was taking a step back for where I should be at, you know, I should be looking better than that, you get me, at that stage, you know, if you're coming up through Foss, that's all well and good, but I'm at the being through college and all. I ended up getting into Foss for a year. It's actually with Terence. A lot of mad stories about that as well. But we ended up going there. But Gav kind of started taking off with his life. He got a good apprenticeship going. You know, obviously tough work, but it was a lot better than what I was doing. I was looking.
Potential is there for
I was looking to strip myself back and looking for that easier life. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And then I remember I was actually in Foss and all, and you know, it was kind of coming to the end of my term there. It was finished, and then I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm out in the big bad world here, and I still don't know what I want to do with myself. So Gav rings me up one morning. He's like, Ger, do you want to join the army? I'm like, do I want to join the army? Are you mad? And he's like, no, out straight. I reckon it'd be great for us and all. And he kept talking it. He's bigging her up. I'm like, Gav, out straight. Don't deploy me for the army, out straight, I mean it. And then with that, he ended up going and doing it anyways, didn't he? So with that, I ended up saying, fuck it, I'll give her a bash. I went and done the fitness test, stuff like that. And then we obviously got the interview. So 3 days beforehand or something, I couldn't sleep, you know, I'm a real worrier.
Yeah.
When, you know, for interviews and that, I want to know everything. So I was revising everything about the army, where they done overseas missions, their weapons, all this mad stuff that I probably shouldn't even know until I'm in there. But when I went in, I was so confident, and I went in and done it, and I felt great after. I was like, I definitely got this. The Gavin his idea to go for the army ends up failing his interview. So here I am, this fella's idea to go for the army, and I'm the only one left. You actually came down with me to Athlone, remember?
Yeah. And then I applied myself.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask. I wanted to get them to get their story and then find out what happened with you.
The first time around, I passed everything, and then I had to go up to the gate with a form. What was that? No, it wasn't. I was going in for it's the interview the last day.
Yeah.
Right, I was going in for that or whatever it was. And I went up, and you have to bring your forms with you. So I had all my forms there that morning, boom, brought everything with me. Got to the gate, hadn't got my forms. I said, Bollox, I'm matter forgetting them. Looking in the bag, the whole lot. He says, mate, I'm matter forgetting the forms there. Look, I have them in the gaff, the whole lot. He says, yeah, you can't even bring your forms here. You have to forget to bring your forms and you want to go into the army. Fuck off.
No
I
way.
says, yeah, nice one, pal.
Yeah, sounds
See you
keeper.
after. Yeah, hold on to it.
Arsehole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like since then, like I'm in the army now just over 5 years. Gavin's in just over 3 years, is it?
4 years now, June, yeah.
4
What,
years.
so what got the idea into your head to join the army?
I don't know, like, because I think me and Ger kind of excel in sports and all, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a way where we're good mixers with people when we're in sports, you know what I mean? Like, we get on with people better, so it's like, it's a job where you're going to be running, it's going to be physically demanding, it's going to be all these things that I believed I was, you know what I mean? Like, and I look at people in uniform and all, it kind of like, gives me the shivers. Before I went in, like, I kind of got nervous around, like, seeing a soldier and all. It's like, I'd love to be that, you know what I mean? And I kind of got that itch, and I said, I'm going to go for it. But as Jared says, I failed on the interview.
How did you fail the interview?
Do you know what? Jared rings me up, and he's panicking and all. He's a worrier and all. He's giving us socks. Oh, Gav, this, that. I goes, look, they're going to want to know about you.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to know about them, you know what I mean? You're the one who's going in. So I went in and all, and it was the complete opposite, as Jared tell you. He wanted to know about them, and there I was like, oh my God. So tell me, what do we do? Oh, I don't know. I started, you know.
It's this real life Call of Duty.
Yeah, like me at the start of this podcast, like that. yeah. But no, it's a great job. I honestly love it. I couldn't see myself doing nothing else. I'm locked in for life.
Yeah, but once you're happy.
That's
doing
it. Like,
something,
we were two lads that didn't really know what we wanted to do, and then like, I just kind of fell on my feet with this job. Like, I could have been an absolute waster, you know, only for Gavin's idea to go for this, and then obviously me just sticking with it and saying, look, I'll try it out, I have nothing to lose, you know. I was a waster at the time anyways. And then obviously when I went in and done it, it was just like the bonds, the people that you meet in it. It's a great job, you know, full of great like-minded people, do you get me? And it's a great career for, like, you know, if you feel like you had, like, I love that job. You know what I mean? Like the training aspects, a lot of things that you do with the army. It's just a great career to have. I love it anyways.
You're being overseas and all.
Yeah, I went overseas with the 116 Battalion over in Unifil in Lebanon. Yeah, it was a great trip. Great trip, yeah.
And there's some, because I know a few people in the army as well, and I know like a few senior members in the army as well.
Yeah.
And there's so many potential like career paths.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? People think, oh, you're constantly just out marching and all. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things you could be doing.
I think the job is like you get what you put in. Do you know what I mean? If you wanna be unsatisfied, you like there's courses there. You know, look, I don't really want to touch too much on it, but like you get what you put into it. I
Yeah,
think.
but I mean,
You can do like techie schemes.
Yeah,
and all, do you know
as
what I
well,
mean? Like
and
all
you can
computer
branch
courses.
out,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah,
there's
of course.
different branches. You have CIS, and then you have like infantry soldiers, and then you can go to the Air Corps and all. Where you
Yeah.
become a mechanic and all. No certain things like that. At the Navy, if you want to go to the seas, but like in the job, you can do like apprenticeships, like metal work. Like a sparks, anything like that, you know. It's not just fuss soldiering, you know what I
and
mean?
you can become a ranger as well, isn't it?
100%, yeah.
Many people become a ranger though. It's like,
It's ridiculous. Like it's just proper the elite. Do you get me?
yeah, the best of the best.
yeah,
Isn't it? When the Wheeler was telling us about on his episode,
Yeah.
and how hard it is to become a ranger.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it's no joke. It's like the lads, fair play to anybody that's passed that course or has attempted it. It's honestly, it's one of the hardest things you'll do. I can't, like, people that speak that talk about it, like, I would never attempt
Me
it. I
and
don't
Terence
think
are going to
so.
do the Hell Week. What do you do on the telly?
Ah, lads,
We're going to do that. We're going to blow it out of the water.
Boys.
Are we?
I
We'll
don't
do
know.
that, man.
We're going to blow it out of the
Shout
water.
out, bring us into
Ray
the hell.
Goggins,
Yeah,
give us a
boys,
shout there.
I'm actually reading his book. It's brilliant.
Yeah, get Mark O'Neill out there. Mark O'Neill, put a word in there for us, bro. Yeah, we'll blow that thing out of the
Tartans
water.
won't last 20 minutes.
He will, because I'll be
No,
there.
he
I won't learn him.
won't.
later.
Wanna
Hey,
bet?
you won't.
Remember you said I won't run the marathon.
Do you know
Remember you
what?
said I won't do a
Yes,
podcast.
No, I didn't say I wouldn't do a podcast. I actually, that's the type of person that you wear though.
Yeah.
When Tartan said to me about the podcast and where he sees the podcast going and all, like I never denied it to you, but I did tell you out straight when you were saying it to me and all. I was kind of saying to myself, like, you know, I can't really see it going that way. Do you get me? And then I said to Tartan out straight as well when he was running the marathon. The morning of it, I was actually in my girlfriend's gaff, and I remember sitting there and I said to her, I says, "Oh, actually, do you know what? I don't think he's going to do it." Because Tartan's, we've been on, how many times have we been on runs? And I remember this young that couldn't run a 5K. I swear to God. And the morning the marathon, I just said to her, I was like, I don't really think he's going to do that. And he absolutely smashed it out of the park. Like, honestly,
Honestly, like, a
smashed it out.
5K at one stage to the Tartans fella was like climbing Everest.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
honestly.
mad into the bleeding.
Now I can't,
the
I can't
runs and
believe
fitness
it, yeah.
now.
This is
the
what I'm telling
hiking
you
fella.
about. The change, like,
Yeah.
it's like these little things add up, like, do you know what I mean? He went from sessioning and doing whatever he was doing to, like, running
Sea swimming and
marathons.
all.
Now he's focusing on the podcast and
Sea swimming, fella.
And
You can't beat a good sea
I'm after
swim.
doing a career change as well and going into barbering. So obviously that's
lacing the boys
that's
up.
announced now.
Yeah.
We're going in. I'm going to be a junior barber at 400 starting off as an apprentice. But I'm looking forward to that, boys. I'll lace you up the
That'd be
bits,
Don't
boys.
fancy losing an ear, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That's a nice little career change
Yeah,
for me. Something to keep my mind occupied. Do you know
That's
what I
it.
mean?
I'm chuffed for you, yeah.
Looking forward to that as well.
But
so,
back
yeah.
to the point, he will do the Hell Week. If
I
you're going to
will do the
put it
Hell
on,
Week.
because he'd be like,
'Cause
Calvin,
you
I'm
said
out,
it.
and I'd just be like, no.
I'm only a private soldier, but bring me in as an instructor just for that 30 fella.
I figured then.
Or is it?
Cal, would you not get someone like Ray Goggins or someone onto the show
We
like,
tried.
in the future?
He's too busy.
It's too
Just
busy.
before
I'm actually
Christmas.
reading his book, and you know he's talking about being over in Lebanon where I was and all. It's like because I was there, I can see the picture of actually where
Yeah,
he was. You get
yeah.
me? So actually loving this book at the moment. Yeah.
We
So
tried
just
to get him on, he's
manifest
just
it.
too busy.
Is
He's
he,
too
yeah.
busy. to come
David
on.
Goggins will be on.
Yeah,
Manifest,
David
bro.
Goggins. Yeah, just
The main
manifest the
fella,
boys.
the main
Hartles, do you not talk about the 4x4 by 48?
What's that? What's going
Remember
on?
we done the
Remember we done the Goggins challenge?
Don't even talk to me
Oh,
about that.
Darren's bow out. This is a gas story. So
Go ahead.
we set it out right, and you do what is it, 6.4,
6.3 or something.
Yeah,
kilometres
so you
every
do
4
4 miles.
Yeah,
4 miles every 4 hours or 40
Yeah, that's
hours.
handy to say. Yeah. So, anyways, we're all talking about it, right? So me, Jordo, Jared, and Tarrant are doing.
I've seen you out doing
Yeah,
it.
Tarrant said.
I was on the keys before. I was running as well, and you were running, but you obviously went a different way. And he's waved. I was like, "What's the story, boys?" And I went a different way. And then when I went back, I think I followed you, Ger, and you had it on your story then. I was like, oh, that's what them boys were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jumped on the last minute. So the boys are training now, but I was in work. I was
telling them.
And the first one was at 11 o'clock. I said, I finished work at 9 o'clock. I did. Yeah, went down to the gap, put the skates on, cycled down to the flat. Said, right, where we run the boys? Right.
He was talking about it. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do all these runs, every last one of them, right? But 2 or 3 runs in next to what we're bringing his phone, right? Because you have to do 4 mile every 4 hours, so you can't be waiting around for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to get this done so you can get back and rest. So we're bringing him. The fella's not answering the phone. Like, where's this fella flying around on the push bike? I tell you, like, he's a
Boys,
madman.
it's the hardest thing I ever did in my life. That was, boys.
Honestly, it's
How
so
how
tough.
much did you do?
I know 6 of the runs or 7 of the
Yeah.
runs. I think.
Many runs is
But I
it?
cycled them as well then.
It's 12 runs, so
Just to
it's
make
2
up for it.
marathons in 2 days. And shout out to the lads in the 7th Battalion, the out support company, doing the David Goggins challenge there for charity, yeah.
Yeah,
So shout out to the boys, yeah.
Took the life out of that.
Yeah, give the boys a little plug.
But I'd love to do that now. I remember doing that, boys. I was straight on the gaggle the second to last run finished. An 8 on the counter and a big, and 8 cans. And Bob's your uncle. And probably had 8 cans the night before it as well. Do you know
You'd
what I mean?
fly it now. You'd
See,
fly
you
it
don't
now,
know, but I reckon
Yeah, you
we
would,
should
yeah.
do it now, actually.
Yeah.
And get like Talking Bollox fans or listeners to run
do
with
with
us.
us, yeah.
I'd do it 100%.
But you were
do that.
suffering with shin splints and all as well, weren't you?
Suffering with everything, Pat.
So,
But the
you
first
were.
time we tried to do the marathon, you had shin splints.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
did, yeah.
And you-
That, I changed my runners. Remember, I hated the new runners that I got on.
Yeah.
Because I was used to running in these runners, then I got proper running runners. But when I was running in them, my shins were killing me. It was just a change of runners. But I was all right now.
Yeah, you're fresh now. But yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Plan that out,
We
yeah.
do that, so that's a little out there for the future over the
Yeah.
next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
and
don't
months
text
or
me,
whatever.
yeah.
You'll be ringing them there phone will be
Wouldn't catch me doing that
Fuck
again.
that podcast.
someone's going to say that now, I can't remember, but fuck, it doesn't matter.
It must have been a lie.
Yeah, it probably was. Wouldn't be like me. But, right,
Think we touched on it all?
yeah. You boys happy with this? No more funny stories?
Oh, no more.
No more funny
Do I hear something about Benidorm, no?
Oh,
please.
so funny.
Yeah, go on.
Oh,
Valencia.
So
innit?
funny, yeah.
Or whatever.
so, what episode was it that you touched on that? When
It's
you
like the
watched?
first episode.
Was it? Yeah. And then I touched on it again. But I think I'm getting it mixed up. I don't know whether it was Valencia. I know it was another city because when I won't tell too much, but when I was walking down this desert road after like 2 days or whatever long it was, a desert road, nothing around me, and there was a big huge sign, big yellow sign, and it said welcome to, it was something with a V anyways, welcome to something. And like I could see buildings then miles away, and I was like, right, so there's human life down here after being in the desert for so long. And like I can probably get a phone and try and ring then. So yeah, it probably wasn't Valencia, but it was somewhere with a V.
But I remember we were in the hotel, and it was the next morning. This third fella was missing for like a day and a half, right? And we're in the room, and this mad FaceTime off this, what was it, a Spanish
I knocked
boy?
on the window of some restaurant and she says, we're not open yet. I start crying and all. I said, love, please. I says, I'm gone days. I said, look at me feet. I was showing them feet. I see the blisters.
He
to
was
the
like
latest.
a rasher, he was.
I
I'm
said,
telling you.
shown on. I said, I'm lost. Please, just let me use your phone. And she did, fair play to her.
Yeah.
And then I rang the boys then or whatever.
And he's like, Ger, I don't know where I am. And we're all looked like, we ain't thinking about food. Well, like, we're in the hotel, we're staying in the Don George or something like that. Well, like, we're in the hotel, whatever. He's like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself. He was just in bits, scalded the bits.
Oh.
So we hung up the phone, and me and my mate Kyle were walking. We were actually going to get breakfast, and like, if you're ever in Benidorm, it's just skyscrapers everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're just walking down the road, and all I hear is, yeah, and it's just echoing all over the place. And we're looking around saying, where the fuck is this fella? We thought he was up in some room or on a roof or something. And all I hear is, Kyle! And I just look up the road, and the Terence fella is walking down, blisters hanging off his feet.
Very bad.
Gone for about a day and a half. I swear to God, you couldn't make this.
We were
up,
only
like.
going away for 3 days. He was
Terence
missing-
missed half of
he was
it.
missing. It got to the stage where we forgot he was even with us. Like, just saying, like, where is he? Like, we were about to go down to the blame PlayStation and blame file a missing
I
person
fucking
report.
pulled the place in over there with the boys. It was gone so long, and I was like, these will probably help me here, you know. So I pulled them in and says, look, have you got a phone, boys? Like, I need to ring the boys, I'm lost. I was like, I'm really. And he just rolled the window back up and drove off. And I said, is that dead, right?
Yeah, it's a mad kip in that Benidorm.
Yeah, it's
Boys, I'd
mad.
never go back.
Nah.
Wait, Tinky Beach.
Yeah, I was there. I was in Benidorm twice.
No, you're not, what you're around there for?
Too
We
much.
went to Tiki Beach, right? We're at being flat out on the gargle, at like on the plane. Obviously, the airport buzz and all flew straight over, hit the hotel, dropped the bags, and said, "Right, we're going to Tiki Beach." Because we were there a few times. I wanted to show Terence. Terence gets there, he starts getting this mad boy. He's like, "I don't like it here, no, I don't like it here." And he looked really off, and he was just full of gargle, like. So I'm looking at him and he looked really off. So we walked out and he just starts getting sick all over the sidewalk, right? So I was like, Terence, right? Because were you in Tiki Beach?
Yeah.
There's like a mad slant on the side of Tiki Beach, yeah? And I was like, Terence, we're gonna get sick. Go out to the sidewalk and get sick. He's like, yeah. He sits up on a high stool like that and goes, and I'm there, right? So it's just getting sick all over themselves, right? And there's a slant, and everyone's standing there in flip flops and all, and the thing's just going through their feet and all. I was like, oh, Terence, I'm gonna get this fucked out here.
I fell asleep on that stool. I did. I woke up. I had about 12 hats on me.
Yeah, watches up
my
his
arms,
arm.
New t-shirts. I mean, I woke up. I couldn't even lift my head.
We were all just sitting there every time the lookies came past. We're like, yeah, I drove that here.
Jim must have spent about $3,000
I hadn't got a wash
on hats. Worth it.
Yeah.
I'm purple after having the money.
Yeah.
Would
no,
you ever
we
go
were
back,
there.
Terence?
What?
Would you ever go back?
Never. No. I'll
you
never
say
leave the
that.
country again.
Dude, this fella.
Oh, damn, I'm going to Liverpool actually next week, but that doesn't count. Doesn't count. England, Ireland's the exact same, boys.
Oh, you're a sap.
Yeah. But see when we go on tour next year. Oh, this year we're going on tour. We're
Yeah,
going to
to
Iceland.
Cork.
No,
Are
we're
we?
going. Are we?
Oh,
No.
don't threaten me. What a good
I
time.
think we should do
Yeah,
we do a show in
that
Iceland.
You're the
Cork
Close.
lads,
Yeah.
love you.
The Cork lads, yeah, we have a load of messages. We have a load of cultures coming up. Shout out to all the
Yeah.
cultures.
So that's what we're going to do on the live show. Find out how many people are not from Dublin there. You know what I mean? And then we'll get a feel. Because once you go outside of Dublin, it's all culture land, isn't it? So like,
Ah, right.
it doesn't matter where they're from. So once you do a show outside of Dublin, all the cultures go to it. Like,
Fact.
do you know what I mean? Whether it's Cork, Galway, Limerick, Mayo.
What
It's
did people text us there the other day saying they're booking a hotel, they're coming up from Waterford for me.
Waterford
That's
for
all
me,
right,
That
well.
is class, lads. Out straight.
Do you know what I mean? So
Nah, but I do wind the cultures up now, but on a serious note, if you had a big crowd, say, coming up from Waterford and a few from Cork, if you done a show in Cork, like obviously it'd be easier for people to Waterford to go to, you know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Okay, it's out there. We'll see how the first one goes. We might play and go up and choke on the first one, you know what I mean? Bleeding Eminem and 8 Mile.
stop, I feel sick.
Yeah, well,
honestly.
lads.
Like be rabbit
I
up
cannot
there.
imagine that.
Do you know what I mean?
No, do you know what it is, right? There's a serious expectation on us, right? So if you've ever seen a live podcast, right? A live podcast is
They're very
exactly...
intimate though.
It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a live fucking podcast. You go in and you do a podcast like this. What's the story? Episode 61.
But there's 400 people there.
People are texting us saying this is gonna be nuts, blah blah blah. I don't know what they're expecting. It's a podcast.
Nah, boys, out straight. Like, I
Only
was
nerves.
shaking at the start of this now, man,
Yeah.
coming into myself. But I mean, like, could you imagine instead of the cameras, 400 people? Lad?
Well, I have a few tricks up my
Oh
sleeve,
my
boys.
God.
I'm telling you, I'm talking a big game age because you keep saying to me, and everything, I'm like, bro, I'm fresh. I have this wrapped up and all, and I'm gonna end up choking. I know I
I
am.
hope you get stage fright now.
I won't, bro. I'll be up there rapping and all.
mate,
that.
Carl won't.
This
Carl
guy
won't.
ain't a motherfucking MC. I know everything he's about to say against me. I am white. I am a fucking bum. I do live in a trailer with my mom. I do have a dumb frame than Cheddar Bob who shot himself in the leg with a gun. Do you know what I mean?
Hey, what about the Super Bowl, boys? Out
Lethal.
straight.
Boy, is 50 Cent hanging upside down. He's about 60.
The width of him.
The age of him. Do you know what the best part was?
Hey,
Yeah.
it was out of breath when he started trying to rap.
Yeah, they had that stage set up, so he's hanging upside down while everyone's rapping over him,
There's no
and he has
way.
to wait for them to finish before he can come back down.
Oh, stop.
Did you not see it?
Yeah, I did. I watched it earlier on. I only watched that
And the
half of the
chain
show.
choke.
Yeah, that's
going on.
it.
Carl, did you see the chain
The
choke?
chain,
Oh, stop.
The age of him.
Who was the best artist? Who do you think?
Kendrick Lamar.
Do you
Kendrick
think
Lamar
so?
was late.
Ran
I
a
think
book.
Dre- I think
Ah,
Dre ran the show.
I thought
but
Ray was the man.
Kendrick Lamar was the best.
Kendrick Lamar was late.
Dre's up there pretending to press buttons as if they're doing stuff and all, boys.
Ah,
Give
boy.
it over.
He's definitely not pressing on.
No,
Don't
it's
get
not.
it.
It's like when you used to give your brother the controller, pretend he was playing. Yeah, you can use that one. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't mind that. But come here, Gav, I heard you can rap.
No, but no, Paul.
It was Paul.
No chance.
Gavin's giving the last.
Sorry about him. He doesn't get out much. Yeah?
So we do play Call of Duty together, the boys all online. And Gav doesn't stop. He just come on. He's just be singing 50 Cent Many Man, yeah. And you actually used to give us loads, Terence. Remember, podcasts are easy. Yeah, I'm going to set my own podcast up.
No, I was right, boys. Fair play. Just
Oh, look at that. And he said he was going to call him Many Men, and he used to be singing 50 Cent Many Men. Go on,
yeah,
Gav.
I'll save that little song for when I have my own podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it. Just that's it. Yeah.
Come on, just go on. You may as well. You may
just
as
come
well.
on.
Get the content out
No,
there.
my boys, I don't know what I was going to say. I forgot it.
But yeah, have you got tickets for the live show?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Gav, you said you're going to
I'm
bunk in.
bunking in.
Yeah.
No, I got to take it. Yeah, I'm definitely.
He's
going.
coming in next year.
Yeah. I'm wanting to be in there, mate. But
That's not
yeah.
a bad idea.
Isn't it?
That's the easiest way to bunk in ever. Sell your ticket, you'll
But what
get
if
at
they
least
stand
$3
there?
grand for it.
Ah,
They're in
easy.
demand.
Easy.
And then you walk in,
And then you walk up and say, mate, you never gave me a stamp. And be like, oh, yeah, sorry, pal, bum.
Bob's your uncles have to wear the
We'd
same
have-
clothes.
Yeah, same clothes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a
He's a twins.
white
grow up.
t-shirt, black pair of jeans, sword.
Pair of baked beans.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
There you are.
Why not,
boys.
no?
Get him wrapped up there,
There you
bunking
go.
in. No one else. I mean it.
Unless you're a twin.
So there'll be a talking Bollox ticket there on Dundee, yeah?
I'm actually nervous now. no, I'm only messing. Right, we wrap her up.
That's a wrap.
Wrap her up. What time we at there? All right. Right, so this is episode 61.
Yup.
And we'll leave it at that. Take us out, Keno.
Boom!
Boom!
Subscribe to this podcast for free on the Go Loud app.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your weight in it now. Tell your body okay. Walk it hard and long. When you finish that
The hip knocker.
song, go down.